Welcome back to the Home Recording Weekly blog. My name is Kern. Today I wanted to deal on a topic that I get a lot of emails about, and that's mixing, primarily the kick and the bass. And done a bunch of research and fact-checking. Basically everyone says the same thing. Every genre is mixed differently. There's no set way to mix any particular genre or even song. There's no magic formula. What you really need to do is understand the fundamentals of where the attack and the instrument itself lives in the frequency real estate of a song, or as our ears hear it, and solo a track to see what's really happening in there. And then don't solo your tracks. In fact, you want to mix the kick and the bass together. You know, solo them, see what's happening, and then to do your manipulation. But then bring them back together, the bass and the kick, just to see how they're sitting together. I have a little bass line written here and a drum line with just a kick, and I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about in the text in this post, and so you guys can hear it for yourself. Okay, perhaps most importantly here when you're dealing with two tracks is solo and then EQ, and then get it where you want it and then take it off solo. So I'm going to play a quick couple bars here with the EQs and bypass. Now with the bass, here's the EQ. I'll take it out and bypass just so you can see. Right about 70 to 80 hertz. I have a notch filter, which is here. I have a little bit of gain there. I think I brought it up too. I have a high pass filter. It's a low pass filter that's already in. It's right here. And I've taken all the highs off because they don't need to be there. Now with the kick, what I did is, I'll take it off bypass, is I was careful not to use the same notch area. In fact, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. It's around 50 to 60, in fact it's 51, 52 hertz, and I narrowed the Q, which is the width of this band, and brought it up. I took a dip out of about maybe 350 just to get rid of some mud. Actually, let's see exactly where it is. What's that say, 280? Something like that, maybe 300. And then I added a little rise. In fact, I'm going to make that Q a little bit smaller. And that is the high. It's at 350 kilohertz. And that's to give the beater the attack of my kick drum a little pizzazz. So let me go ahead and solo the bass, and I'll bypass the EQ so you can hear it when it comes in. Here we go. Now I'll do the same for the kick. Here's bypass, and here's bypass off. Now it's important to listen to them together. Now as you can see, if I mute this and the kick has a good punch and a good body, it should sound the same when I bring the bass in. Let's see what we get. You can actually hear that some of it is dissipated. So if I take my EQ setting and I'm going to narrow my Q and get some of that kick back in there. Did you hear that? Let me widen the Q. What I'm doing is I'm giving some of this low-end real estate to my kick. Now I'm going to raise the Q, or the broadness of my notch, and you can actually hear this bass taking some oomph from the low-end kick. Hear how the kick is all treble now? And now you get some of that meat back in your kick. That's all from taking and adding bass frequencies to my bass. The same is true. I mean, I could make this sound really muddy if I increase this gain. And that's because the bass is living in that little area too. Let's try moving it. Now there's not much bass happening down in here. That seems to be about the magic spot. And here I've got the attack up. Let's see what happens if we play with that. See, that's where the kick is hitting the beater. I guess that sounds more. Let's widen this frequency out. Ugh, that sounds not real. So you can see that finding the frequencies when you solo the track that make the actual track sound better might actually be the same formula for another track. So what you have to do is pay particular attention where you're adding gain, what frequencies you're adding gain to, and make sure that you're not duplicating that on another instrument. You need to give each instrument its space. And when you really add gain frequency-wise to one track, you need to remember that so you don't add it on another track and create a lot of mud. Of course, this is a quick demo just to show you how the EQ really works between the bass and kick. I'm not a pro. I've done a lot of research and a lot of playing around. What I do is I try to hear it in my mind, so to speak, the finished drum and bass that I want. And then I use additive and subtractive EQs to get there. I like a good punchy kick, again with a little bit of spike of gain in the high frequency range for that attack. And then I like some throat and some lower power in my kick. But I don't like it robbing from the bass or the bass robbing from the kick. So what I do is I use a really narrow notch filter, and I'll bring it in and I'll make sure my bass and drum spikes or notches are in different frequencies, and I'll play with them just to where I can get it right where it sounds the best. And from what I can tell, that's the easiest way and the best way to get your recordings sounding better without having them mastered somewhere or mixed somewhere in a studio environment. If you're doing it in your home like I am, you know, open up an EQ and play around. You can't destroy anything. The goal is to make it sound better, and I really hope this helps you. Make sure you leave a comment or share this with others, and make sure you come back soon because there's a really good giveaway happening here at the Home Recording Weekly blog. Thanks for stopping by.